It's Ashleigh from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop, and today I'm making a chocolate cream pie, and I'm actually adding a little bit of a mocha twist to this for my mother-in-law for her birthday. Now, I'm not actually going to be showing you today how to make the pie. You can use whatever pie recipe that you would like, but I'm actually going to be showing you how to decorate this pie. So the pie crust I'm using today is an all-butter pie crust. It's the one that I always use from Sally's Baking Addiction. It's pretty much the best pie crust you're going to have. Really important to dock your pie crust so that you don't get any huge air bubbles or anything, and you'll notice that I also did leave an edge on my crust as well. This really helps to prevent any shrinkage, which is one of the biggest issues that I had with my pie crusts, and I think that this would have worked out perfectly, but another little mistake happens and I end up having to kind of cover it up, but I will show you that all later on in the video. Now I am going to be placing some leaves over top of this part, so this isn't super crucial. I just do this to make sure that everything is flat to the pie pan. To ensure that everything stays even, I'm just going to cut off this edge. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this cutter to create little leaves. And to attach the leaves, all you really need is either some milk or just some plain water works as well. I'm going to be showing you how to pipe flowers out of whipping cream, so you could either use this for pie like I'm going to today, or you can use it on cakes as well, or whatever other desserts that you desire. Everything was going really well at this point. I had chilled that for quite a while, just because if you don't chill it, then you're going to have shrinkage. I separate my egg yolk out here and add just a little bit of whipping cream. This is what gets it really, really nice and shiny on the crust. Generally, after I've partially baked it, I can tell whether the pie is going to shrink or not. And it was looking really, really good here, but I make one crucial mistake, and that is I did dock my pie to prevent air bubbles, but unfortunately, my yolk was so thick that it covered up the air bubble and then it created a giant one, which ended up pulling one side of the pie down into the pie pan. So when it comes out of the oven, you'll notice it isn't perfect, but I do cover it up. This is a chocolate ganache recipe, and basically if you don't know what chocolate ganache is, it's melted chocolate with a little bit of whipping cream, and I also add butter into mine just so that it really solidifies up and has a nice shine. For all of the whipped cream flowers today, I'm using the same exact petal tip because I didn't want to switch piping bags. As you guys know, I like to save my piping bags. So basically, I'm just putting the thicker end towards the center of that flower and then creating a mini rainbow arc. I'm being super haphazard about where I'm placing these all because I want the whole pie eventually to be filled up. I know that I like a bite of whipped cream in every single bite with this pie. This whipped cream is fairly stabilized, and I don't really use a stabilizer or anything in particular. All I do is I whip it to stiff peaks, which means that when I pull my little whisk out of the whipped cream, it stays nice and peaked, but I'm very, very careful not to make it too dry, because if it's too dry and too bubbly, then I find it doesn't pipe as well. I also always use confectioner sugar or icing sugar, also known as powdered sugar, in my whipping cream instead of granulated sugar because I find it's less grainy. I'm going to show you another way to add on these flowers, and that is using a flower nail. Now, I used to really struggle with transferring flowers off of a flower nail, both with buttercream and with whipping cream. But the trick is to create that base on the bottom there so you actually have something to grab onto. The more closed you want your flower, the more up and down you're going to hold your piping bag, and the more open you want your flower, the more kind of sideways you're going to hold that piping bag. And if you want to make sure that you have a nice thin kind of petal, make sure that you have the small end, so the tapered end, facing upwards to the sky. To make a flower that resembles a carnation, what you want to do is you want to just kind of wiggle it. You're doing the same motion as when you were making the rose, but you're wiggling all of the petals, and you're being a little bit more haphazard with it. Now, if I were to make a carnation, again, I think I would use a different petal tip, but you can definitely get away with using this one as well. I will say that if you live in a warm area and you don't have air conditioning, this might be a little bit trickier for you, because I even noticed that sometimes my hand was warming up the whipping cream a little bit, so you do want to work quickly when you're making these. I find you don't have as much leeway as you do with buttercream. Now, as I mentioned before, my leaves all got pushed to one side, and you can see that that other side of the pie got baked over the lip of my pie pan. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cover up the one side completely and make it look like I meant to have those overhanging leaves. Now I'm going to give a little sprinkle in the center of each of these open flowers. I have been really into dry brushing things lately because I find that the luster dust just stays so much more beautiful and more true to its color that it was intended to be. So I am just dry brushing these leaves on the edge here, and it's working out perfectly. Sometimes I'm in the mood to make desserts that just look really delicious, and generally when I make a chocolate cream pie, I just pile on the whipped cream and I put chocolate flakes on top. But I wanted to do something a little bit more unexpected and different, so I hope this gives you an idea of how you could dress up your next chocolate cream pie. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can be part of the Sweetie fam. Right now, I'm uploading daily, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Also, be sure to comment, request, or ask a question. I love hearing from you guys. Bye!